Now let us see the types of the bank. We were having 5 types of bank. Number 1 is central bank, second one is commercial bank, third one is development bank, then specialized bank, then cooperative banks. So how many types of the bank do we have? We are having 5 types of bank: central bank, commercial bank, development bank, specialized bank, cooperative bank. Commercial bank can be segregated into 3 parts: public sector bank, private bank, and the foreign bank. Cooperative banks again scattered into 3 parts, that is the primary credit societies, central cooperative banks, and the state cooperative banks. In our syllabus we only have the central bank and the commercial bank, but we will discuss in this video all the 5 banks. Let us see what is commercial bank. A commercial bank refers to a financial institution that accept deposits from the general public and extend loans for various purposes such as consumption and investment. In other words, a commercial bank is engaged in a two-way transaction. On one hand, it accepts deposits from the people, and in return it offers them a rate of interest on their deposits. On the other hand, it extends loan to the investors, in return of which it charges a rate of interest on the amount lent. The bank generally maintains a difference between the borrowing rate and lending rate, which forms the profit for the bank. Let us see the functions performed by the commercial banks. Commercial banks mostly perform 2 functions: primary functions and the secondary functions. Primary functions is segregated into 2 parts: accepting deposits, and the second one is lending money. Accepting deposits means demand deposits and term deposits. Lending money means giving loan to the people through term loans, demand loans, overdraft, cash credit. Under the secondary functions we are having agency functions performed by the commercial banks: discounting bill of exchange, credit creation, investment of funds. There are other functions which banks are also performing, which comes under the secondary functions category, that is providing locker facilities, issuing traveler's check, and so on. So here we have seen that the commercial banks perform 2 functions, that is the primary functions and the secondary functions. The primary function is accepting deposits and lending money. Remember one thing, the bank accept deposit by opening up the accounts. So bank open 2 types of the account, that is the demand deposit accounts and term deposit accounts. By opening up the demand deposit and term deposit accounts, the bank take loans or accept deposit from the people. Similarly, by providing term loan, demand loan, overdraft and credit card facilities, the bank lend money to the people. Secondary functions, agency functions, discounting bill of exchange, credit creation, investment of funds. Other functions like providing locker facilities, issuing traveler's check, and so on. So here we have seen primary and the secondary functions are the functions of the commercial banks. Let us see all the functions in detail. We start with the primary function. The first primary function is accepting deposits. Accepting deposit is the main function of commercial bank. Banks offer different types of bank account to suit the requirements and the need of different customers. Different types of bank accounts follows. As I told you, bank opened up 2 accounts. One is the term deposit accounts and the other one is called the demand deposit accounts. Under the term deposit accounts, bank open up an account for the stipulated time period, and under the demand deposit account, the bank open up the account not on the basis of the particular time period, but they opened up the account and the customers are free to withdraw the money from this account at any time. So the bank opened 2 accounts. One is term deposit for the stipulated time period, and second is demand deposit. It means they can withdraw the money of their own. Let us see the first term deposit, that is the fixed deposit account. Under the fixed deposit account, the person or the deposit account holder deposit the lump sum money for the stipulated time period, and after the expiry of the specific time period, a person can claim his money from the bank. Usually the rate of interest is maximum in this account. The maximum period for which the fixed account is opened up is 10 years and the minimum time period is 7 days. So what is the fixed deposit account? Fixed deposit account is a term deposit. Under it, the lump sum amount is deposited in the bank for the fixed time period. A person can claim his money from the bank after the expiry of the specified period. The rate of interest is very high. Right now the rate of interest is 8%. The longer period of deposit is 10 years and the minimum time period is 7 days. The next is the current deposit account. Listen, the current deposit account is the demand deposit account. It is not a term deposit. Remember one thing, under the demand deposit account, two types of the accounts comes. One is the current deposit account and the other one is called saving deposit account. Let us see the current deposit account first. Current deposit accounts are opened by businessmen. Businessmen cannot open the saving account. They can only open up current deposit account. The account holder can deposit and withdraw money whenever desired. So it is a checkable deposit. When I say checkable deposit, what it means? It means he can deposit and withdraw the money at any time from his account. As the deposit is repayable on demand, it is also known as demand deposit. Withdrawals are always made by check. Remember one thing, no interest is paid on current account. On current account, the bank will not pay any interest to the account holder. Rather, charges are taken by bank for services rendered by it. Here the number of interaction with the bank is unlimited, which is not found in the case of the saving account. So the business houses open only the current account because every transaction in the business should move through the bank, and if the number of interaction with the bank is limited, it becomes impossible to carry out the business activities, because of which the businessman only opened current account, not saving account. Now let us see the saving deposit account. The aim of it is also a demand deposit account. The aim of a saving account is to mobilize saving. The main purpose is that more and more people should save the money. A person can open this account by depositing a small sum of money. The business house cannot open the saving account, only the household or the individual can open the saving deposit account. He can withdraw money from his account and make additional deposits. Account holder also get interest on this account. So account holder will get interest on his deposits. In this account, the number of interaction is limited. In a day, 6 times he can interact with the bank. The interaction totally depends upon bank. Some bank allows 6 times interaction, some bank allow 5, some bank allow 6. The number of times the person will deposit and withdraw the money from the saving deposit account is limited. That is the main reason businessman cannot open the saving deposit account. Remember one thing, I am using the word businessman. It means business houses cannot open. Businessman as an individual can open the saving deposit, but the business firm, the firm's account cannot be opened under the saving deposit account. The next is recurring deposit account. Remember one thing, recurring is a term deposit account. As I told you, there are 2 term deposit account, that is the fixed, which we have discussed earlier, and the second one is recurring deposit account. Remember one thing, in the case of the fixed, lump sum amount is being deposited for the stipulated time period, but in the case of the recurring, the person will be encouraged regular saving. So the depositor can deposit a fixed sum. The minimum is 100 rupees, which he will deposit in his account regularly on every month. The amount together with the interest will be repaid on maturity. In the case of the recurring deposit, what happens? The person wants to save the money for the future, but he is not having the lump sum money. So the banks, just to encourage this habit, the bank allow them to deposit the money on regular basis. with the condition that he will withdraw the money from his account after the maturity, so that the amount will be saved in future or to meet out the future requirements. The maximum time period for the recurring deposit is 10 years, which is also being seen in the case of the fixed deposit account. But here the minimum time period is 6 months. In the case of fixed, 7 days are there. In the case of recurring, 6 months are there. Here the rate of interest is lower than FDI, fixed deposit, but higher than saving deposits. We also have the mutual option deposit account. This is the hybrid between the term deposit and the demand deposit. Under it, certain percentage of the amount will be fixed and certain percentage of the amount will be used as a demand deposits. So it is a hybrid between the term deposit and the demand deposits. Here the account holder has twin benefits from his account. He can earn interest and it lower the risk of dishonoring the check. Let us see the second primary function, that is lending money. Lending money with the help of money collected through various checks or deposits. Commercial bank lend finance to businessmen, farmers and others. The main ways of lending money are as follows. The bank will lend money through term loans. These loans are provided by the bank to their customers for a fixed period to purchase machinery, trucks, scooters, houses, etc. The borrower repay the loan in monthly, quarterly, half-yearly or annually. The next one is bank overdraft. Remember one thing, the customer who maintains a current account, the bank overdraft facility will only be given to the current account holder. The question is, what is overdraft? The customer who may maintain a current account with his bank takes permission from the bank to withdraw more money than deposits in his account. The extra amount withdrawn is called the overdraft. The time period and the money which he over withdraw from his account, he has to pay interest, and for the time being he is holding this extra money, till that period he has to pay the interest. Overdraft facility will only be availed by the current account holder. The money which he can withdraw totally depends upon his credit limit. The next is cash credit. Under this arrangement, the bank advances cash loan up to a specified limit to the current account holder against current assets and other securities. Under this arrangement, the bank advances cash loan up to a specified limit against current assets and other securities. The bank open an account in the name of the borrowers and allow him to withdraw the borrowed money from time to time, subject to the sanction limit. Mostly the saving account holder avails the cash credit. Interest will be charged on the amount and for the time period he is holding the money. In a very simple word, we can say that the money over withdrawn from the saving account is called the cash credit. The next is demand loans. Under the demand loan system, the bank credit the entire loan amount to the borrower. The borrower thus becomes liable to pay the interest on the entire loan amount. However, such loan can be recalled on demand and have no fixed maturity period. Listen, in a very simple word, we can say that demand loan is the loan which the borrower has taken and can be returned or be asked to return the money at any time, because it is a demand loan. As long as the person is holding the money and for the time being he is holding the money, he has to pay the interest on the money, or for the time being he is holding the money. The person can return the money whenever he feel like returning the money. Now let us see the secondary function. The secondary function of the commercial banks are as under. Number one is agency function. Beside performing the major functions of accepting deposits and granting loans, the commercial banks also perform various agency functions as well. The following are the major agency functions performed by the commercial banks. The first one is transfer of funds. The bank provides easy and cheap flow of funds from one place to another via mail transfer, DD, etc. The second one is collection and payment of funds. The bank also perform the function of collecting funds on behalf of their customers through bills, check, etc. The next is purchase and sale of securities and foreign exchange. Since the commercial banks are more knowledgeable in regard to the stock and shares, thereby they buy and sell such securities on behalf of their customers. Similarly, the bank also purchase and sell foreign exchange for their customers. The next is role of trustee and executors. The commercial banks also perform the role of trustee and executor for the property of their customers. The next is provisions of underwriting facilities. Certain commercial banks provide the facility of underwriting the sale of new shares. Let us see the next one, that is discounting bill of exchange. The commercial banks provide financial assistance to the business community by discounting bill of exchange. A bill of exchange is a document that acknowledges the amount of money that is owned by the debtor as against the goods and services received by him. The bank purchases these bills by the customers. In this sense, by purchasing the bills, they provide easy means of finance to the business community as and when they required. This, in a very simple word, we can say a business transaction is going on credit basis. For example, suppose A has sold goods to B. B will not make the payment at the time of purchase. Rather, he will give the bill of exchange to Mr. A with the condition that I will make the payment on the stipulated time period. If A is in the need of the money before the stipulated time period, A will go to his bank. A will give the bill of exchange to his bank. His bank will take the bill of exchange and after deducting a particular percentage, pay the money to him. That is called discounting bill of exchange. It means the bank will accept the bill of exchange and will pay money to Mr. A after deducting some charges. That is called discounting bill of exchange. The next is credit creation. The commercial banks create credit in the economy through demand deposits. Credit creation paves the path for the growth of the economy. The credit creation topic I will explain separately in separate video. It's a lengthy topic. So right now just understand that commercial banks also provide credit creation. It means that the bank multiply the flow of money in the economy. The next is investment of fund. Apart from granting loans and advances, the bank also invests their surplus funds in securities. Investment in the securities helps the commercial banks to meet their future requirements of funds. The bank can borrow from the RBI against such securities. Listen, a part of giving loan or accepting deposits, bank also invests the money for investment purpose in securities, which the bank can use at the time of borrowing the money from the RBI. The securities in which the bank invests the money is mainly of two types. The first one is government securities and the other one is called other approved securities. Government securities refer to the securities of the central government and the state government, example National Savings Certificate, etc. So the bank invests the money in NSC and can multiply the money which they are holding to many folds. Second is other approved securities. These are those securities which are included under the provisions of Banking Regulation Act 1949. For example, investing the money in the Electricity Board, Housing Board, etc. Let us see the other functions. Apart from the above mentioned functions, the commercial banks also perform various other functions such as providing locker facilities. The commercial bank provide locker facilities to their customers for keeping their valuables. It also issues traveler checks and also gives letter of credit. They provide the customers traveler checks and letter of credit. The traveler checks and letter of credit helps the people to avoid the risk of carrying cash while traveling. It also provides useful business and statistical information which is beneficial at the time of framing business policies. That's all I have in this video. Thanks for watching. God bless you all. Dear subscribers, if you have not subscribed my channel, please subscribe the channel and don't forget to press the bell icon so that whenever I upload the new video, you get the notification.